That may have been the end of one book, Miss Moonpie. But you know your Auntie Mame is a sucker for that beautiful little grin and those sparkling eyes of yours. And I know you like books because books are special. And so this picture book I think you're going to love. It's Fancy Nancy's Tea Parties. And yes, I am a Fancy Nancy. And yes, I love tea parties. And your papa made me the best tea party ever with my baby girl, Caitlin. And one day I want to do that same tea party with you, Miss Moonpie, okay? So you just tell Papa, tea party with Auntie Mame. Bonjour, everybody. What I love most about tea parties is that you can have one anytime. You don't need to wait for your birthday or Christmas or some other formal occasion. That's a fancy way of saying an important day. Whenever we feel like celebrating, that's the perfect time for a tea party. I often feel like celebrating. I have been the hostess of so many tea parties that I am practically an expert about what to wear, which refreshments to serve, and how to make everything look très elegant. There are just 3 important things to remember. Be fancy, have fun, don't forget to invite me. Divinely yours, Nancy. Ooh, see Miss Fancy Nancy there in her sunglasses and her tiara and her tutu. So the table of contents. We have ensembles and etiquette, classic tea parties, buffet tea parties al fresco, tea for 2, and doll tea parties. So today we're going to go over ensembles and etiquette and classic tea parties. So these are her ensembles. Okay? And so ensembles is fancy for outfits. You can really wear anything to a tea party as long as it's fancy. If guests arrive looking too casual, that's a polite way of saying plain. No problem. I always have lots of accessories on hand. I think this one with the boa and the butterfly bracelet, I think that's my favorite out of her ensembles. Well, it's okay if you have a different favorite than me. We're all fancy in our own ways, okay? Etiquette. Etiquette is French for polite manners. Now, one day we're going to go to Paris, okay? Here are some things to remember, besides saying please and thank you, of course. If you burp, put a hand over your mouth and say, excusez-moi. Your napkin belongs in your lap, not on your head. Try not to grab. Compliment your hostess. That means saying nice things like, this is yummy. So see, she's excusing herself. They're learning that you don't put it on your head. They're learning not to grab. And she's very busy complimenting the hostess. We got to do just one more section. Just one more. It's our time together. Classic tea parties. Classic tea parties are where guests sit at a pretty table. Miss Divine and I pretend to be famous and call each other darling. And that's just how you do it. Darling. Okay? Trust your Auntie Mame on this. Look at how fancy. Oh my. That is a beautiful tea party. At tea parties, it's fun to speak French as much as possible. I keep cards with French words in a fancy box. Excusez-moi is excuse me. S'il vous plaît, please. Merci, thank you. Magnifique is magnificent. And de rien, you're welcome. she is, and see her fancy box up top? Okay, so we're going to save this and come back and learn some more about tea parties, okay? Now it's time for you to have fun.